Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are, live at the 360 Vegas studios. Trooper Wellman, we have a special guest. We have Officer McClarty here,
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
who drives the ghost car. Let's just tell, right? and so when you drive past him very fast, he's he's a state trooper. Okay. Anyway, so Officer McClarty has the little thing here, and so it's a whistle. And so what I want to know is that in danger situations, you would blow the whistle, like for a pedestrian, right? Do you wear that for is it like an aesthetic?
So not only does it look sharp on a uniform, which I'm not presenting mine today, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's obviously for the look, but also it's to direct traffic. So when you jump out, use your whistle to direct traffic, to get people's attention, to alert them, to let them know it's your turn to go. Toot toot.
Yes, I never even thought of that. And part of being a Nevada State Trooper, right, and with Nevada State Police is directing traffic, because sometimes people drive like lunatics, and you have to tell them which is the best way to go, right?
One of our primary focus is directing traffic, or traffic coordination with our other surrounding agencies. That's one of our main purposes is, making sure traffic's flowing, making sure we get the lanes open in a timely manner. And if we can't, due to a crash or maybe a situation that's happening up ahead, then we're going to make alternate routes, and that's what we do. We do quite a bit of training, actually, to make sure that we are proficient in directing traffic in a safely manner.
Officer McClarty. Huh? We always talk about you on the TV, right?
Yeah, we do.
We're always telling everyone, right?
Now we're going to talk about that mustache, though.
Right. Right? It looks pretty cool.
It's an attention getter.
I would agree with you.
Something like that.
And here's the thing, that you always look professional, just like you do, and just like everybody. You always notice the Nevada State Police, they're always professional, they always wear the same uniform, it's very distinctive. And so tell us what's been happening. We haven't seen you in a while. What's new, what's exciting, you know what I mean? Like all that type of stuff. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, to bring up the uniform,
Yeah.
the visual is the first impression. So you want to make a first impression on who you meet, and who you meet first is the visual portion of that.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things going on, a lot of things brewing. If not everybody knows, we did get a raise this year, 23%, an additional 11% next year. So we got more coming. In addition to that, we got more incentives as far as bringing in recruits. So we have our education pay, bilingual pay. The education incentive is for associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. And also we have our special unit pay. So our motors, I think, gets 10% now.
Correct.
PIO gets 5%.
Yeah, we know
right.
about that one, huh?
K9 gets 10.
Right.
Yeah. In addition to our commercial, they also get 5%. Our CERT gets 5% as well. So if you see, you have that, right?
CIT.
That.
Yeah,
So you get an additional 5% for that too.
correct.
In addition to already the perks that we had with the take-home vehicle, we get paid drive time for our shift. So we work a true 10-hour shift, and most agencies don't do that. So when I start my shift at 6:30, I'm going on the radio at 6:30 from my driveway. And that's a big thing.
And we figured out that we don't have an exact number, but that's about $10,000 a year at a bare minimum by the time you do the oil change.
Yep.
Trooper Wellman came the other day in the ghost little thing, and I said, "Where's your car?" And she said, "Oh, it's getting the oil change."
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like those things are very important, right?
Yeah, definitely less maintenance on the POV or your personal owned vehicle that you have. You're not paying your own gas, less miles on your car lasts longer, less maintenance.
And with today's world, some people that have two people living in the same house, it sort of enables something like you don't need 2 car payments.
Right.
Like to just let one sit in a garage. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a way to just have one person be able to have one payment or whatever. So that saves too, right?
Yeah, or even eliminate a car altogether. I knew an officer at parole and probation that sold one of his cars because he had a take-home vehicle, and then his wife, just used the vehicle at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it eliminated a whole car payment altogether.
100%.
I'll tell you what, I was driving, today's Tuesday, I was driving on Sunday, and I got a flat tire
Yeah.
and on my personal vehicle, and I went to the tire shop yesterday to get it all fixed and that. You know how much it costs for one tire to get replaced? Because I have a little bit of a bigger tire.
Yeah.
$288. Okay?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And then I was nervous to drive on the spare because it's hot outside and you can't really go on the freeways. I mean, you can, but it's not recommended,
of
right?
course.
It completely has like put a wrench in my week because I'm like, okay, do I need to drive my car? But you know what was really comforting is knowing that when I had to go to work today, I didn't have to stress because I take the freeway to get to the station for where I live to the highway patrol station. And it was very comforting to know, like, oh, I have my take-home vehicle. So I have my patrol car to drive to the work, you know, to the office and then back home. So I don't even have to worry about driving on that spare until the tire gets here. But, I mean, it's a whole, you know, I mean, what if that was my only means of transportation and because they had to order the tire and it's a whole thing. So it is very comforting to have that take-home vehicle.
And what happens when you got to the station? All of a sudden, the car that's there is all dirty, or it's out of gas, or the battery's dead, or who knows what's going on.
Yeah, when that starts.
And we always talk about the fact that, you know, you have your bag of your items that you carry, and so, like, what if you had to carry that plus all the other stuff that you leave in there? You know, it's really a wonderful thing, right?
I got one more perk.
Go ahead, tell me.
So if you get issued a state vehicle,
Yes.
and this happened to your state vehicle, what do you think happens? If you had a tire flat
I don't
or
know.
your car broke
Tell
down,
us. I would assume they would probably bring you
they
a
they
vehicle.
would provide you a spare, so then you would still be able to get home with a state vehicle, instead of having to get a ride home from a friend or family member.
I never even thought of that.
If you
right?
drove your own
100%.
vehicle, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I've had where there's been times I came out to my patrol vehicle and I had a flat tire, or your battery's
In my driveway,
is
yes,
dead.
I
Yeah.
have
But you know what? The second you say on the radio, like, I'll be at my residence changing a tire or my battery's dead, your whole squad texts you and they're like, hey, I'm on my way to help you. Or like, hey, let me come jump your car. Your sergeant's like, what do you need? Everybody comes and helps you, and you're like NASCAR real quick, zip, 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 back in service. So it's a family thing.
And it's the camaraderie,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I was going to say. One more last thing I wanted to say, which I think that you not left out, but that you maybe are very modest to discuss, okay, is that whenever someone calls you and says they need help at Saturday at 6 in the morning to start running or recruiting or anything, okay, because we show the videos, right? You're there. And so when you are part of this brotherhood and sisterhood of the department with the Nevada State Police, it truly is this camaraderie, and so it's something very, very special, and so it's something that people really need to understand. Trooper Wellman sent me this video the other day, which I didn't get a chance to show Johnny, but with Captain Munoz, right? I was going to call him Lieutenant, right? And it shows what's going on here. And it shows the camaraderie when someone puts on that smoky and somebody feels, and so it's very special. So we commend you for doing everything that you can and then going always above and beyond to try to help. You know what I'm saying? And so please know from our end, okay, when you're not here, every time, Trooper Wellman and I always talk about go to NevadaStatePolice.com to become a member. We always talk about you, and how much you're there and how much you'll help somebody, you know what I mean, and with the testing and all that stuff. So I'm glad that you're here, and we thank you for being here. And know that when we're talking about you, we're always waiting, okay?
Thank you.
And we love the mustache. I think it looks great. You know what I'm saying? All right. I gave him some of the Trooper Talk mugs. By the way,
awesome.
if anybody wants the Trooper Talk mugs, just go to TrooperTalk.com. We've given away the stickers and the things, but just go to Trooper Talk and email us, and we'll give them to you. Okay. All right. You ready for this one? First one. Now, what people don't understand as well, and I'd like to go into a little bit more detail. When you become a Nevada State Police trooper, whatever it is that you would like to do in your lifetime, if you would like to stay in the state of Nevada and you would like to choose different departments and see what you like, I don't know how long you have to stay in each one, but what I'm saying is you can try different departments, right? And then we always talk about up in the northern Nevada, up in the Lake Tahoe area and things, how it's beautiful, and all this type of stuff. And you can go to Ely and all these different places, all while retaining your benefit that when you join, that as long as it is that you have a tremendous retirement. And so when you're working, you're really working towards your future. Would that be a fair assessment?
That is. And the time frame to switch divisions is 2 years.
Okay, so you have to be in each one.
Correct.
Okay, so
well, you don't have to be in each one, but if you wanted to transfer
if you
another
wanted to
division,
transfer, okay.
you do 2 years in the division that you choose, starting off with parole probation or highway patrol, then you have the ability to transfer. If there's an opening, you put in an interview, transfer request.
For each one.
For each one, yeah.
And I was telling you right before we went on the air, I was talking with Sergeant Barachek over the weekend. I was texting him, and one of the things that I told him we would talk about, he wanted to talk about the take-home car, which we talked about, right? But the thing is, he says that a lot of people are doing the lateral move now from other agencies in the Valley to become part of this family because of all these benefits and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, go ahead.
So currently I have 9 that are lateraling to us or putting in application, conditional offer letter. We're just waiting on some testing and things. But the reason why they're lateraling is because of the type of job that we have. Whether it's highway patrol, parole probation, we have one of the best jobs in the state or even the country for that matter. With the schedules, the take-home vehicles, the people that we work with, and just the community that we have is bar none, the best in the state. But the reason why they're lateraling now is because of those pay raises and some of the incentives that we've gotten. We were probably behind, Las Vegas Metro, Henderson, North Las Vegas, maybe 40% in pay. But with the addition of the pay raises that we got is a total of 34%. So we're pretty comparable to what they have. In addition to the incentives that we have in place that they don't have, as far as the take-home vehicle, the drive time, the perks of working the roads, the parole probation schedule, and all those together is, a good place to be.
And for those that don't know what a lateral is,
tell us.
that means it's a sworn officer from another state or another agency within Nevada that you can lateral over to our police department. It's a modified testing process for you. It's a quicker process. It's a shorter process because you are already sworn. And that's where you can go on NevadaStatePolice.com and talk to Officer McClarty and ask all questions that you have, and he'll get you going through the testing process as quickly as possible. Just this morning, Officer McClarty was, before we even came here, at like 6 a.m., he was testing somebody out on the physical fitness. He is so dedicated to getting people in a quick manner that, he'll modify his schedule just to accommodate yours to get you through your testing process. So if you have any questions, especially our laterals, the actual full process of a lateral is probably maybe 6 months, would you say, give or take?
I would say it's less. It's because it's probably easier to get the backgrounds from another agency. You've had the experience. We modify the testing process. We only have to do the fitness portion. We waive your written. The testing that we do monthly, and there is no lag time of requesting or speaking to a recruiter because I'll get you within 10 minutes of a text message, phone call, email.
And then once everything is done and you're through the testing process, you'll go through an advanced academy, which, do you know how long the advanced academy is?
It's 8 weeks.
8 weeks long, and then you'll go to field training. And field training can range up to 6 months depending on your skills and how fast you're catching on. But so you're looking at 6 months, 8 weeks for advanced, and then just maybe a couple months for your testing process. So with less than a year, if you're a lateral, will get you good to go on your own, hopefully less than a year.
My question for the lateral move is this. If someone is of a higher rank other than a normal, I don't want to be disrespectful, like of a patrol for another agency or something like that, if they're a sergeant or they're when they come over, do they, not to say start at the bottom, but they have to work themselves up to becoming that for the Nevada State Police, right? They don't, excuse me, they're just not a that for, right? Okay.
No, yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. They will transfer over as a lateral, and you'll be at the baseline, either a trooper or an officer, and then you can work your way up. But we've seen laterals promote very quickly within our agency based upon their experience in the past. So it is taken into consideration. And then Officer McClarty can touch on this, but the main difference between a lateral is the testing process and getting going on your own, as well as the pay incentive. So, and then you can touch on that, because I don't know that for sure.
As far as like the salary?
Yeah.
So when somebody laterals over and say they have 4 years experience, we will take that experience and give you 4 steps. So the steps are what we get yearly as far as a raise. We top out at 10. So if somebody is a sergeant and they have, say 6 years at another agency, we'll bring them over as a trooper or an officer at step 6.
Okay.
So they'll be a trooper, but step 6, so they'll be able to keep their pay rate.
Yeah.
in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So if somebody's watching and they're going, okay, listen, I'm a sergeant and I don't want to come over there and then not be the same, right?
Right.
Everybody has to start off at the bottom, but at least they have some incentives.
Correct.
That's
And then if somebody's wanting to promote again, you're eligible for promotion after 2 years. So if you come over, you have all this experience from another agency, your 2 years hits, you can put in for sergeant.
Yeah, we have multiple sergeants right now that they did prior careers, 20 plus years at other agencies, and then they came here and they're getting their retirement from their other agency, and now they're working for, highway patrol or parole probation. And they tested within 2 years, and they had 20 years of experience in leadership and this and that, and they promoted very quickly. So they're getting right back up where they were or where they left their other agencies. But the big thing is we will try our best to match their pay incentive from what they're lateraling over for.
And I like that, and we'll get to the other stuff, but I like that because of the fact that, if someone has a retirement from agency X, you know what I mean, and they did their time, they're able to come over and they go, look, I'm not ready to retire right now. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm still like a younger person. I started when I was younger, right? But I still want to continue my career. That's great that you open yourselves up to that.
Yeah, and then even with our outside agencies of outside Nevada, we try to save a trip for testing purposes. So we'll test you on a Saturday, the fitness portion, because we waive the written test, but we'll also schedule your polygraph on the following Monday. So if they come from out of state, they do one trip, they do their fitness test, they do a polygraph the following Monday, and they've already eliminated a couple weeks, because usually it's a couple weeks to get a polygraph scheduled.
Okay,
so
that's
they come
cool.
over one trip, we get 2 things knocked out, and they're already a big portion of into the process.
Right. Okay. Good. And that's fantastic. And that's again, it's one of the things that Trooper Wellman and I continue to talk about every week. And we appreciate you being here to sort of help in this discussion, because it's very important that we get all this information out, because if everybody knows, I think we're going to get a lot more people that want to join.
I absolutely believe that. Yep.
100%. All right. Good. And by the way, great picture.
I know that's.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things that I liked on this was the veterans part. You know what I'm saying? And so there's people that, and I don't want to say people in a disrespectful way, but there's people that have prior military experience that we've talked about that are into that lifestyle of this is the way to do things, and they want to continue that after the military is done. And so one of the ways is to go with you.
Right. And I'm actually a former Marine myself, so I did 4 years, and then it kind of took me a while to find my niche again. And that's where I found this agency where we're at now, and I love it. And it's the best feeling, coming from military, you have that camaraderie, you have that brotherhood, sisterhood, the friendships that you build. And then you go to the civilian sector, and sometimes you don't get that same thing. I worked at the strip hotels for a while. I've made great friends there, but just the feeling of having something more to the job, where I get the fulfillment of helping with people at parole and probation, where I hopefully successfully get them through their probation or parole, they don't come back to us. And that's a big thing, and I get something out of that. Whereas the civilian side, you might not find that togetherness or the reward of working, where we have that every day.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, you know, when you worked overseas, you know what I mean? Like, you came from over there, and, you know, and you have a successful career over here, and we love that she's getting the percentage. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, she deserves. Well, I'm just saying, you know, listen, she deserves it. Like, she comes on, you know what I mean? And it's a tremendous weight to be able to do, you know, all jobs, but to do that particular. So when she told me that, I thought it was fantastic. She deserves it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Join us in congratulating Trooper Luhan, right?
Luhan, yep.
Luhan in completing his last phase of training and earning the title. Oh, this is the video.
Yep.
Oh, great. Yeah, this was fantastic.
Get ready, Johnny.
Yeah, I love this video. Johnny, this is Captain Munoz.
I love his face when he saw his parents.
You're on your own now. So you're officially a trooper tonight. I don't think there's a bigger honor than wearing this badge, putting that smoky on, and going out and handling business, and know you're surrounded by family. You have the greatest support system in the world here. We'll start on your mom and dad and back. It's game time. The valley is ours. The valley is not yours to make it safe while we sleep. Keep lives, no guns. Let us sleep in peace. Valley that we found that know you're always surrounded. My brothers and sisters I love you here, you drop everything in the heart of each other. So proud of you.
Got me to say that, buddy. Sure. But that is please work with pride. Represent the lineage and the legacy of those that came before you, and continue to work hard for the new troops that we have on FTO, because they're going to be looking to you for guidance and support as they continue to take this effort you just done. Right. Sure. Congratulations. Thank you.
I'm Trooper Luhan, Nevada State Police. I wanted to be a trooper because my grandfather was killed by a drunk driver. I'm looking forward to protecting the citizens of the state of Nevada and making sure no other family has to suffer what I did.
So, we love Sergeant Whitmarsh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, similar story. You know, and so some people have a story of why it is that they do what they do, and others have other reasons, right? And so what we have to remember is that when you put on that uniform and when you put on that badge, you are risking your life every single solitary day to prevent tragedies and to wear it with honor. And so to be able to watch a video like that and know a lot of those people that are there and know that they wear that badge with complete honor, you know that when he wears that smoky, he wears it the same way. And so it's the little things that after, by the way, we just passed 100 episodes of the Trooper Talk. After doing this now 100 episodes, and now texting and being friends with different people, you get to that personal side where most people don't get to that personal side. And that's one of the things that we find so special about the Trooper Talk. And so, you know, I'm happy that you're here and you're here. And so talk to us about this and, you know, the badge and all that type of stuff.
So this video is very special because not only were we celebrating Trooper Luhan and him earning the title Trooper and getting on his own and passing field training, but we wanted to show everyone a little behind the scenes of what makes our, we always talk about how we're a family, and it's so hard sometimes to put into words what that means, and so we wanted to kind of show it. And although this is private and special, and we you know, when people get on our agency and they go through their training, we don't want them to know that we're going to celebrate them like this, because it's a surprise to let them know. Like, it's just like, he had no idea when he walked outside and he saw the lights and his partners all saluting him. I guarantee you he, like, felt that in the heart,
Yeah,
right? And it's something
right.
he will never forget, and it's something we all cherish. But, you know, not every agency does this. And personally speaking, from someone who has worked for another agency, you know, it is very special to have this at your agency, and it just shows how much we care. And it literally came all the way from the top. We had the lieutenant colonel there, the major, the captain, the sergeant. You know, everybody was on the same page. We all had this idea. We wanted to, you know, highlight our troopers, welcome them to the family, and everybody was hands on deck to make it happen. And, you know, even the troopers saluting him, I know that they even were just like, it's a pride thing, like, welcome to the family, like, you are now our partner. And we don't even, yeah, he's new, but that is your backup now. You are now a trooper, and people are looking to you for guidance, and people are looking to you for, to be their backup. So yeah, we're just, I don't know, basically we're a family, and I just love it. And I love that we invite their families to come and be a part of it, because their family is now our family, and they need to know, like, that, like, for his parents to see that. His father was actually prior 25 years SWAT with Henderson, and not to put his family on blast, but when his dad came in, you know, he thanked all of us, and he had said he had never seen something like that before in any police department. And you could just tell his father was so moved, his mother. And, you know, as much as they're stressed about him going into this line of work, I think seeing us and seeing how much we care about their son gave them a little bit of comfort, knowing that we are going to protect him. And Major Honey sat down with him. Literally, the top boss sat down with his parents and told them his main goal is to make sure their son comes home to them every single night. And, you know, it's just a whole thing. It's just so powerful to be a part of and to witness it that night. And so we just wanted to basically give a little sneak peek to the public of, if you did join our family and you want to join our family, NevadaStatePolice.com, like, this is what you're coming into, an agency that genuinely cares about you. And we're big, but we're small enough that it's still, like, you have the potential to know everyone within our agency, and it's just very, very special to be a part of.
Yeah, and I was going to say that. So the lieutenant colonel, I always chased around when I came to the southern thing, to headquarters.
The word ceremonies.
Right, and I would always be like, oh, you know, let's talk on the camera, and he'd be like, okay, you know, later, and but Major Honey always would talk, and finally we got the lieutenant colonel. He came in with the deputy chief from parole and probation.
It's about Martin Malesko.
Right. And they both got on camera.
And Schubert. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so, you know, he came in. I said, why don't we just take a picture? And then he came over. He just talked for a couple minutes. When you can get the people from the top of the agency and you see that filter down like a waterfall, and you can look in any person's eyes that is there, and you know that if they had a problem, that they are able to call or talk with, or whoever, the person at the top, or the, you know, whatever it might be, because everyone is there to help. And so there's not this one-sided nature, it's this family nature. And so the family nature is why we want people to continue to join. And we hope that they lateral over from all these other agencies, because they see that. And so it's very special, and for me, the extra special part when I saw the video was the fact of knowing them, not them, but a lot of them on a personal nature, and know that they care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're not just out there saluting and just being like, all right, you know, that's enough for a dumb video and we're finished. No. This isn't what's happening. And so it's very special, right?
Absolutely. And me working at the academy directly, being the recruiter, I missed out recruiting him, but I did talk to him at the tail end while he was getting into the academy, and being there for some of his trainings and stuff. And seeing that video, it gives you the
Tight feeling.
like the warm and fuzzy, like,
Yeah.
wow, like, he made it all the way through, and I was there, throughout the process, and it's amazing to see.
It's special.
He was actually a dispatcher with Metro prior
Yep.
to this, so he came over to the sworn site.
He did the lateral move. He was doing something, whether he enjoyed it or not, but now he wanted to try something else in his life, right?
So he actually had to go through a full academy. You can't lateral from dispatch to police.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I think it speaks volume to see somebody that came from another agency, that was invested in another agency, came to ours, and we welcomed him with open arms like that. Like, that's something he'll always have and cherish. And I guarantee you, because, I was an explorer with Metro as well, and we love Metro, by the way. But I was an explorer with Metro, and that was a really hard decision for me to decide. Well, I was vested. I had so many mentors and friends that were all Metro, but I got my call for Highway Patrol first. So I remember having that inner battle of, wait, should I just wait it out? Should I get my foot in the door so that way if I need to, I can transfer later? But once I got to Highway Patrol and I met everyone there and I had moments like this, I knew I was in the right place. And I couldn't leave because I loved it so much. So
And I think that we have the clients that look in the television, and if you believe, and which a lot of people do, you're able to feel through the television, but you have to open yourself up to believe. And so part of that is looking in someone's eyes, like they can look in Trooper Wellman's or your eyes, and they can feel that in your stomach because they know that it's real, right? They can look in her eyes because they see her now on 100 episodes or 90 episodes or whatever it is, and they can see that she's emotional because this is very important. And so this isn't just a job and like, okay, listen, I'm working from 9 to 5, have a good day, go home. No, this is a lifestyle.
Right.
And so in that lifestyle, we want to salute someone that went through the academy, which I'm sure is not easy.
No.
And I'm sure that you have times in that academy, which we've talked about, that you want to put your head through a wall. Right? But the thing is that if you continue and if you talk to the people there like we talked about, right, like yourself, listen, today was a really bad day. I want to leave. Let me talk to you before you jump off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very important. So, all right. Tip a cop to raise money for Southern Nevada. Oh, look at this. Again, Trooper Wellman, you're out there. You do this stuff not for extra pay and not for all these extra things. You're out there because you care. You're out there because you're with people that normally in other agencies maybe they wouldn't talk to people of higher ranking than them, right? And so you do it because they like you said before, you have a problem, you can call them, right?
Absolutely. So we Special Olympics is for Southern Nevada is one of our community partners, and we do a lot of work with them throughout the year. And our goal is always to raise money for our athletes because they're competing all year long. Major Honey is huge. He's been a part of Special Olympics, promoting and helping fundraise for his entire career. We have multiple people within our agency that are personally affected, that have loved ones that are in the Special Olympics. And so they're just very dear and close to our hearts. So whenever they have an event, we always do our best to step up. And this event specifically was called Tip a Cop, and it was where valley-wide, all the Chili's, majority of the Chili's locations, we had every agency from Henderson, Nevada State Police, North Las Vegas, Metro. A lot of us picked a location, and then we went there, and what we do is we go around to the tables and just basically ask if anybody would like to make a donation to the Special Olympics, and we just give them an envelope. And it gave us it's a great opportunity for us to also just sit down and talk with our community. So I was kind of nervous to do this. This was the first time I've ever done this kind of fundraiser. To me, I'm like, oh, it's so intrusive to just like walk up on someone's table and be like, excuse me. And so it was kind of stressing me out. But then once I got there and started talking with the community members, it was so special. And I love that I went. Major Honey was the one who was like, come with me, come on, you can do this. I swear it's really fun. So once I went there, I was so grateful I did because I met so many amazing people that night. They had so many good questions.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things like Coffee with a Cop, where we just mingling with your community, right? Letting them know, just like we do with Trooper Talk, like humanizing the badge, but also just getting to know our community on a personal level and addressing any concerns they might have. Or just, I had one guy, no joke, Neil, he said, hey, wait, you look familiar. are you on TV? And then I said, yes, I do a lot of our media, our news stuff for our agency. And he was like, no, I've seen you on something. It's a show. And I was like, oh, Trooper Talk. And then he was like, yes, Trooper Talk. So he saw me from Trooper Talk, Neil.
That's great.
And so then I ended up talking
Catching on, I'm telling you.
It was great. And I thought of you, and I just started giggling.
Right.
And, I talked to them for probably 15, 20 minutes. So it was just a great fundraiser. And they raised a couple $1,000s for our athletes within hours of this fundraiser. So this Saturday, we are going to be out at Cowabunga Bay for the Special Olympics, and it's called Cover the Cruiser. And every dollar donated, you get a Post-it note, and you get to put it on the cruiser. And I'll be out there with Henderson Police Department, and our goal is to cover all of our patrol cars.
Yeah. In the parole and probation, right, people make mistakes. But just because people make a mistake doesn't mean that they're a bad person.
Correct.
And so we've talked about the fact of the DUI, where you can have somebody that's been perfect their whole life and they decided to go out that one evening and they got a DUI and, hurt somebody and they went to jail or whatever, right? And so when it comes to the parole and probation, your job is not to scrutinize somebody to make them feel horrible about the things that they've done in their life. It's to have a conversation with them just like you do with the training. And to, when someone has come out, from being locked up, or they get onto probation, maybe even for the first time, you're there to help someone through that process. Is that right?
That's right. And I do this with recruiting too. So you're starting off with a conversation. When you meet somebody that's on your supervision, it starts off with that conversation, like I mentioned, and you're basing it off of what conditions that they're ordered to do, and that's strictly it. You're going with personal advice. You can throw in personal advice of stuff that you've maybe dealt with on a personal level without giving too much information about yourself, but you're also giving experiences to where you're giving advice. You're helping them get into counseling if you see that they have a need. You're also helping them find jobs when they're having issues with that. So you're there as like a big brother officer, I guess you can call it, and you're there to give advice. You're there for a point of contact to hopefully get them through their supervision successfully and not come back. And then hopefully they right that wrong that they had, whether it be DUI or any other sentencing that they've had. They don't do it again, because they've learned, and then hopefully they had a positive interaction with you to where now they spread that, positive energy to somebody else that they interact with that have maybe done the same thing but have never got caught, or they've never had the issue of being pulled over or being in a car accident. They have that ability to share that insight that you gave them, so now it spreads, and that's what the goal is.
It's funny. I watch some of these programs where they show people on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those people that are locked up, that the thing they always say is like, don't do this. You don't want to end up here, because they show like they're behind bars for 23 hours a day, and they're in this little room, right? And so Trooper Wellman and I have talked about it. It's not fun. Like, it's not where you want to be. And so, but if you have suffered from those things or done those things, then at least there's someone like yourself to help. And then when it comes to the Hope for Prisoners, right? We Captain Munoz. I mean, we've talked about the fact that you've been there, and it's not just a bad thing. It's there to help rehabilitate someone to be a better member of society, even though they've made a mistake, I guess. Would that be a synopsis?
Absolutely.
And so I think it's very special. You know what I mean? I don't know how I got on this topic, but anyway, congratulations. So many things to talk about. It's here he is again.
This is Lieutenant Dreyer.
Retirement. Okay, Lieutenant Dreyer. Oh, he calls on the radio? What is he doing right here?
I'll tell you.
She
Does Parole and Probation do a final call?
They do.
Yeah. So at our retirement ceremony, something
Yeah.
that's very special, and this is pretty much like a nationwide thing that a lot of police departments do, is we do our final call. And you do it with your family, surrounded by your brothers and sisters, and you give your final, we call it 1042, which means you're off duty, and you give your final 1042, and it's very emotional because you know that you're never going to get on that radio again, and it's something we share with dispatch.
Yeah, that's. Did you cry?
Most of us do, yeah.
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 Do you think you would cry?
On the inside.
Dude, I'll cry for you because I already know I'm a big sobber.
No, it happens. There's a little trickle, a little,
Yeah.
but I really hold it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. But this is a very special thing.
Lieutenant Dreyer did 25 years. He worked for Parole and Probation and Highway Patrol. He worked both divisions. So let's just say that room was full because he had an impact on both divisions within our agency. And 25 years of service. We're starting to see it more now just because of our retirement change. But before it used to be 20 years and out, 20 years and out. To see someone do 25 years of service is huge and a very big deal. And I mean, think about how many people he had an impact on within 25 years. And his wife also. What did she end up retiring as? What was her rank?
She was a captain at Parole and Probation.
So his wife was a captain at Parole and Probation. So the Dreyer family is very well known within our agency. So it was a very, very special moment.
We love to go to these ceremonies. We love to go to the when they promote somebody or any of this type of stuff, because I love to see everyone there. I love to see all the people of higher ranking that are there to tell somebody that, you know, that they cared about them and like they actually made a difference.
Yeah.
And so it's very important, you know, and so we appreciate him. We appreciate the service, and obviously, you know, the leadership. You know, I mean, you don't get to that statute without being a good leader.
Yeah.
And so I think it's wonderful. It's what we all aspire to do, to be able to lead and be able to have a room full of people that say, you know, you made a difference in my life, right?
Yeah. Did you ever have the opportunity to work for Lieutenant Dreyer?
I worked for his wife, obviously from Parole and Probation, and I did have a few interactions with him.
Yeah.
He's a goofball.
Oh,
Yeah, like super a great. Like you need guidance, you can go to him. He was in charge of a lot of overseeing like EDC, NASCAR, the big events that come to town, and he always did a really good job at organization and being the commander. But big goofball at the office, always teasing everyone.
you got. I mean, like
It's great. You always
listen,
can count him for a smile.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. I wouldn't know how to. I think that would, like, I could never be an officer because, like, for me, like, when there's tragedy or something like that, I am that person who's running the opposite way. Like, I am not running that way. Like, I'm not that person. A good leader I could do, you know what I mean? But, like, I think that I would have a very hard time discerning the fact of, like, when it's serious and when it's not serious. Because I would always be like, yeah, let's just laughing and joke. But it's a very serious business. And so there's time to be funny and there's a time, you know, to be serious. So congratulations for him.
Congratulations,
And
Lieutenant
we
Dreyer.
all aspire to do those type of things. 25 years. I was telling somebody about this, you know, because Sergeant Barachek, I've been to, you know, right out there is the little Alien Inn. You guys have been there?
Sergeant Barachek's the one who sent me this picture.
Okay. You guys have ever eaten there?
I have not.
Okay. Let me just tell you something, okay? It's the coolest drive, and it's wonderful. You travel to the extraterrestrial highway. I forget what road it is. It's like some road, and then you travel, and it's like 2.5 hours from Las Vegas, okay? And you see like cows and like large hay fields, like things that you don't see in Nevada. As you're driving, you get beyond these fields. You get to this little place. It's called the Little Alien Inn. Okay, and it's this little place, and I mean, it must be 400 square feet, right? I mean, 500. It's very small, and they have the greatest cheeseburgers ever.
What? Okay, I gotta go to this.
Okay, and they're, you know, whatever they are, they're like $6 or whatever. Okay. Every time we go there, we always bring back for all my staff, like, you know, little things like, you know, last year they had like little aliens filled with vodka. You know what I mean? Or like little things. And so, you know, we buy like 15 of them, you know, give them all the way to the people that work for us and stuff. And so it's very cool. But anyway, the Little Alien Inn, we're giving them a plug because it's fantastic.
Okay.
And the staff, wonderful. Okay? You know, in those old bars, how they take the dollar bills and they stick them on the roof?
Mm-hmm.
There's thousands of dollar bills because everybody goes to this Little Alien Inn. And the problem is it's 2.5 hours from Vegas. So it's not like, oh, it's right around the corner. And so my friend and I, we rented the cars, you know, a few years ago. We rent them every year in December. And we drive like the fast cars and all that type of stuff. Very slow, by the way.
Very slow, fast cars.
Very slow, fast cars. And so at that time, we had
like
we had
oxymoron.
rented one of the Rolls Royce, and the state trooper pulled us over. And
For
so
going too slow?
No, we were doing 75 on what it was a 2-lane road, and it was like 55. So anyway, the state trooper was coming this way, and we were going this way. And he turned right around. You know, we were in the car. You know, because it was the rental car, and my friend was driving, so he had a out-of-state a driver's license, and he checked the thing, you know, to make sure the car wasn't stolen or, you know, whatever it was. And he was so polite. We were in and out of there 5 minutes. He wrote the ticket, you know, and we were done. But the thing is that it was really a wonderful drive. And so it's actually the only interaction that I've ever had with a state trooper, knock on wood, that's been in this type of environment, and they were very wonderful.
Maybe one day we'll have to take a drive,
Right.
go
You
get
know
these
what I mean?
cheeseburgers, and then we'll send it to Neil.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And so anyway, so the best part about it is this extraterrestrial highway. Everybody puts stickers on it,
Yes.
and so
I
the
do know
whole the whole thing is all different people's stickers and all that type of stuff. And they probably, you know, the highway, the whoever controls that probably doesn't get rid of it because it's just cool. Because everybody goes there and they take pictures because where the heck is the extraterrestrial highway? And you go there and there's the Little Alien Inn.
That's what Sergeant Bracek said. He was like, I can't believe there was no stickers on this sign.
Yeah, they must have replaced it because we went down there and the last time there was full of stickers. And so anyway, I texted him when we went down the last time, and he has a cool picture of the state trooper car with the. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
He's got a really cool picture that he sent me. Anyway, extraterrestrial highway, Little Alien Inn. Okay.
I have to put
Okay.
it on my bucket
I'm
list.
telling
Yeah.
you, it's fantastic. Greatest cheeseburgers. I think they had French fries too. Anyway, where do we go to apply for if we want a job?
NevadaStatePolice.com.
Yeah, what do we tell them right there? We'll tell everybody what we do there.
So what we do there, you can contact a recruiter directly using our Podium app that we have on there. It shoots a text directly to us, and then we'll respond with any answer to any of your questions that you may have, whether it's lateral from another state, another agency that's within Nevada, or you just want to start off fresh as a cadet. We have all the answers to any question that you may have.
And you're there for them 100%.
Absolutely. So from the testing, I give demonstrations of the test. I can put you through a practice exam. I can do the practice written exam with you. You do have to purchase it, but it's a great tool to use to pass that written exam, and I can do it with you to help you prepare for that test. And then as far as like the fitness exam, there's a portion of the test, the 5 events that you have to do. I can help you with any technique that you have, the jumping, the push-ups, sit-ups, the 2 runs that we have, or essentially 3 runs that we have. There's techniques that you can do to shave off a few seconds, and I'm free Monday through Thursday.
And that's what's important. You know what I mean? Like that you'll do that stuff and you'll try to help because you truly care and you truly want them to be with you.
I mean, I'm essentially the first point of contact with our agency, and I want to showcase what I experience on the inside.
Right.
So my camaraderie that I give you as a new applicant or somebody that I've met prior, I want you to feel what I feel on a daily basis with the friendships that I have with the troopers, officers that we have in our agency.
Yeah.
So I exude that.
100%. And although you two don't work together all the time, the cool thing is that you can feel that you're friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know that, and so that's what's special too. that there's not this tension. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes you get with different people in different agencies, and one person works over here, and you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very special.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm very grateful right now to have Officer McClarty in this role, because the recruitment role was created just recently to get more people in. And, you know, he's really been helping me with social media. And ever since Sergeant Smacka promoted, it's just been me. So I do all the public information officer stuff, the community outreach stuff. And sometimes, you know, our direct contact to the community is through social media. And so sometimes it's hard to balance everything. And so with Officer McClarty, we've been, he's been helping me with all those funny memes, and we've been trying to, you know, stir the pot on our social media. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Because we need to do everything we can. And that's, again, one of the other things. You know, you lean on other people when we have to. It doesn't make a person weaker. It makes a person stronger.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important. All right, 0 fatalities. We love them. Cell phones. So when someone's traveling at 75 or 80 miles an hour, and they are speeding at that point, and they decide that they're going to look at their phone because they want to text someone an important message and look down at their phone for 5 seconds, this is not probably a good thing to do. I mean, right, when you're speeding already, right?
Yeah, your reaction time is, I don't even know the percentage, but I'm sure your reaction time to go from your phone to look up to somebody that's in front of you, either swerving or coming into your lane, there's not enough time for you to react to, you know, change your lane or get out of the way. So you're done at this point.
Done.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy yesterday, a friend of mine, and he said he was traveling down the road, and he was in a little car. And so between him was like a big, like a pickup truck, and then another pickup truck. But like, you know, the big truck with the tires and all that stuff. And so this guy over here did not notice him because he was in the blind spot of this truck. And so this guy said, oh, I'm just going to start moving over. And he said, oh, well, I don't know what to do now. And so he moved over. And this person here was on the phone and hit him. And so I know that it was his fault for the moving over. We've talked about that before. You have to maintain your lane, right? When you swerve over, then it becomes your fault. But the thing is that if more people were paying attention, the possibility, I don't know it to be true or false, but that, you know, you're not supposed to drive on the shoulders, right? That maybe this is what the shoulder's for at that particular moment, that he could have moved over.
Yeah, who knows? You could have maybe had a different outcome if they were paying full attention, right?
Right. And so these cell phones, you know, people, you know, that need to pay attention.
If you were driving a car and I told you, close your eyes for 5 to 6 seconds, you would be like, you're absolutely insane. I'm not doing that, right? You would feel so uncomfortable to close your eyes for 5, 6 seconds while you're driving. But in reality, when you're looking down at your phone for 5, 6 seconds, sending that text message, maybe even longer, you think you're looking through your peripheral, and you may be. But again, that reaction time to process what just happened in front of you, brake lights, everything, you know, a dog running across the road, anything, it's not there. Your full attention is not there, so you're not going to have the reaction time. So when you're looking down at that phone, that's what you're essentially doing, is closing your eyes while you're driving. And if you think that's crazy to close your eyes while you're driving, then why would you ever think it was okay to text and drive? You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And so, and that entails the fact of why, when we're driving, we need to take the responsibility. And it's not a, I think to get a license, it's a right.
It's not a privilege.
It's not a right. Is that what it is?
It's not a right, it's a privilege.
Yeah, there it is.
It's not a right.
Yeah.
It's not a right. Okay. And so with having that privilege, we have to take the responsibility when we get behind the wheel, and we've all done it, and so we just need to be better. But we need to take the responsibility and not do these things unless it's an absolute emergency. And if it's an emergency, you know, we have to pull over or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just do it with caution, right?
You know
like
what I
if
mean?
you're
Like,
reporting an emergency, you are exempt from the cell phone law. If you're reporting like a reckless vehicle or a hazard in the roadway, or you're having someone maybe in your car's having a medical emergency, I don't know. There's many situations, but if this is a 911 emergency and you need to call 911, you are exempt from the cell phone law. Just please do it with caution.
Yeah, just please do it with caution. Too many people are getting hurt these days. Speed. I was talking with Officer McClarty before you came in, about because he, the ghost car, right? And I was telling him about certain automobiles that were driving this weekend, and how like one of them was sort of made to go a little bit, was made to go faster, right? But it didn't matter because he was like this. And then there was another car who was certainly not made to do something like this, who was following this lunatic. And so that's not even taking into account the people that blew past me at 120 like nothing. And so the good thing is, in the morning, I don't know if it's the unit, the problem-solving unit, right?
The
But
motors.
I have seen a lot of the state trooper cars and SUVs on the roadway pulling over vehicles. And so the good thing is that they're doing it. The bad thing was that as soon as you get past that state trooper on the right-hand side pulling over that person, they think it's the Indianapolis Speedway.
Yeah, they think they're free.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, excuse me, and they're like, okay, now I'm like, and so, and so there's no way to win. And so the only thing that I found is that now I travel, unless I have to, always in the center lane. And so I found that being in the center lane, you don't have as many people that are riding up, right on the
Rear of your car.
the rear of your car, right? And if they want to go, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I can do, and so, but it's very scary. And so, anyway, Trooper McClarty, who drives the non-marked vehicle, I mean. They think it's a regular car, so you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, they fly by me.
yeah, like it's just a regular car.
Especially like they'll pull up next to you and then they look to see if is that a cop? And if they think you're not, then they're just like, oh, okay, they're not going to do anything, or it's not a cop, and then they just take off and you're just like, oh, I was just trying to get home.
Right? Just trying to get home.
There's been a few times I've actually radioed it in, the vehicle description and whatnot on the freeway on the 15, because it gets, like you said earlier today, the 15 is, the Speedway, Formula 51.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I was telling him, like the 215 where I go see the lieutenant's grave, they used to drive very fast, and now they don't. So like, luckily, they get the one or two people, whatever, but like they're not driving very fast. And I would think they would on the Sunday morning, just because it's sort of more open area, less congestion, right? And the 95 is I was telling Officer McClarty, it's not so bad. But the minute that you get on that 15 and there's all this traffic, they think it's the Speedway. And so, but the cool thing is that I don't think people realize that they can go in the HOV lane. So everybody's congested in those lanes, and the people that are smart just they continue down the one path and the one thing. And I see the car company, the tall thing on the road.
The advertisement?
Right.
Yeah.
So I see that, and then I see the stadium, and I wave, and then I get off. But there's congestion around the Tropicana because people just, are a little bit unsure.
Oh, yes.
And, I tell you, every time now, after the detective passed away, I always think about those stupid bridges. The cement bridges.
Yeah, Detective Terry.
You know what I'm saying?
Me
and so,
too.
like, I'm like crazy about these things. I don't even want to go underneath them. I think it's like walking under a ladder now.
I know, you almost like want to hold your breath.
I
You're just
do.
Like, okay, I'm waiting. Okay,
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
And then you like hit it a little faster. It's like, oh, I made it, or like
Exactly.
slow it down. Yeah,
Yes.
I play the same scenario in my head too.
It's,
That's one of those freak accidents that will just stick with us forever, right?
Yeah, but I do see, when we travel on the roads, I mean, this week I saw a bar stool. You know what I mean? Like wood, and you know what I'm saying? I see that stuff all on the road. I see the boxes. People
Seen
drop
pallets,
boxes out of
wooden pallets,
out of their cars or whatever, or the trucks.
Mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that they don't realize that the wind picks that up and blows that right on a car, and like that's the end of it. And so we have to talk about the fact of people strapping down their their goods when they're doing the travel.
Yeah, if you have an unsecure load or you're littering, you will be cited for that. That is pretty much zero tolerance, because we understand accidents happen, but you need to take all the precaution to strap your mattress down, strap your bar stool down, strap whatever you are putting in the bed of your truck or on top of your vehicle, because it is your responsibility to make sure it is secure. And if it flies off, especially on a highway, you know you're going minimum speeds of 65 miles an hour and the wind is going to grab it. You're putting everybody's life in danger. And so it's something we don't take lightly. And then I just saw this weekend, there's an increase at the lake because the temperatures are hot, and that's statewide. I mean, you got Lake Tahoe, you got Lake Mead, you got people are going out, right? They're going to the lakes to have fun on their boats. If you have a bed of your truck and you've got your soda cans and your boxes and your trash or just supplies from the lake, and you're driving and they're flying out, that's unsecure load.
Tell me
that's
somebody
littering.
you've seen that somebody does that.
I can't remember what agency
But it
it
does
was.
happen,
They just
though,
posted.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. There's a one of these agencies, I want to say it was Arizona, just posted the other day where they were right next to the pickup truck, and it was like a Mountain Dew box or something flying, and then it flew out and it hit their car, and so they pulled them over. But that happens constantly when we're on the freeway driving or even on surface streets. People don't realize that the stuff in the back of the truck is flying out, and you can receive a citation for that. So please make sure you throw your debris away and make sure you have all your loads secure.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. Officer McClarty, what when you put the windows down when you drive, or you drive with the air conditioning so nobody sees you in the car?
I don't know if anybody voluntarily rides with the windows down.
Right now.
But
When it's cool though, do you roll with the window down, or do you always drive with the window up?
sometimes, if I need some fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drive.
But
with
you can see me through the windows. It's not limo tint. You can see me.
No, they're legal.
You can see
They're legal.
they're legal, right? So you can see that there's a the backseat cage in the in the rear of the vehicle too. It just doesn't have, and it looks like a police vehicle.
Right.
Like if you look at it.
Right. And they still want to just drive.
Right.
past you.
You know what? That's something I've never talked about on the show before. Is our patrol vehicles have tinted windows, and they are of legal tint, but our windows are tinted, which is huge because it is hot here in Vegas, and not all agencies have tinted windows.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I forgot about that. I remember patrolling and like my arms burning. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. Yeah, we have tinted windows.
And I mean, not to be silly, but do they say you have to keep them down or up? It doesn't matter. It's your personal preference when you're driving.
What do you mean?
Like in the academy or anything?
No, there's no regulation
say, like,
on
keep
that.
them
No.
up, put them down. or-
No.
I mean, certain officer safety things you've learned throughout your career, like if I go through neighborhoods or if I'm on surface streets, I always crack my windows a little bit, and it's just to hear so you can listen for people screaming help or people maybe fighting or anything like that. Those are things that I was taught during field training, but I only do it on surface streets. The highway, it's like, whoosh, it's a wind tunnel, so no thanks.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah.
Okay, very interesting. See, these are all the fun facts we get to learn here. You know what I'm saying?
You learn something new every day.
This is what I'm saying.
That's real.
When stopped and advised of their speed, they say, but I'm using cruise control.
School, please.
So, Sergeant Campbell, we love him. He does these funny things. And, I don't care if it's on cruise control or not. The speed limit is the speed limit.
If you actually did roll your window down at 65 miles an hour and felt how fast you were actually going, it's totally different from when you're in a secure vehicle, like you can't tell. If you were in a convertible going 65 miles an hour, you would be able to tell how fast, like, I guess basically the wind hitting your face is. And 65 miles an hour is actually very, very fast. But, our cars are built for luxury nowadays, and they drive smooth, and so you think, hey, I can go faster than this, but it's not recommended and you're not supposed to. It's there for your safety. That's what that road was tested for, that speed, and it's there for a reason.
Yeah, I never thought about that when you with the top down, that you might recognize the speed better.
It's, think about the wind hitting you in the face. You're like, well, this is way fast, right? Like it's like versus like if you're going 15 and it's just even 15, your hair's blowing. And you're like, oh, okay. And then as you increase, it gets more and more and more.
Yeah, because in the convertible, I put the hand out on the side.
Yeah, you stick your hand out the window.
And you go like this, and so you would feel. That's a good idea. All right, very interesting. Officer McClarty, what do you think that means? That means we're finished.
I do have one more thing.
Yes, I
want
wanna
to give
know
a
everything.
shout out
Yes,
to
shout.
somebody that I know from Florida that's applying with us. His name,
Tell him right here. We're going to put it on TV.
Derek McCain. If you're watching, we look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yeah. He's coming here?
He's going to be coming here to test with us, yes.
Okay.
And he's watching Trooper Talk from Florida. Derek McCain, we're ready for you to join Nevada State Police. We look forward to meeting you in person. I know I've spoken to you on the phone a few times, but it's great to give you a shout out and let you know that we're waiting for you.
We're waiting for you. You need to come to Las Vegas and hang out with us. And when you get a job, you're going to come on Trooper Talk and you're going to tell us all about the academy and what it was like and how fantastic it was. Do you see these smiles? That's what I'm telling you right now.
See you soon.
See you soon.